Welcome, everybody. This is Empowering Moments with Coach T, and I am your host, aka Toria Renee, aka Coach T, and you are listening to Empowering Moments with Coach T right here on IntellectualRadio.com. And I have an awesome show for you guys. I'm a life coach, women's empowerment coach, relationship coach, motivational speaker, radio personality, as well as a best-selling Amazon author of the book Networkology, Women Building Wealth One Business at a Time. And I am here to help you as you walk through your journey to a better you. I am so excited. We're about to kick off our first part of the Black Love Situation series. We did this last year. So I'm doing it again. I want to make sure I'm starting to do it annually. So this year I am answering the question, marriage, what is it good for? And today, kicking off that series, I have a couple that is a newlyweds, and they're going to talk from the perspective of why choose marriage today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in the studio with me. I have Rashida and Alvin Daniels, and let me just tell y'all, they are so awesome. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
I promise you, I love listening. I love reading you guys' story. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my God.
Mhm.
I need it in my life. So, want to make sure that we talk first. Let's get some introductions going on. So, Rashida, you are currently a high school assistant principal. And prior to that, you were a teacher for 11 years. What grade did you teach?
All of them. I started out as a substitute in an elementary school. When I got certified, I taught middle and high school. I've taught every kind of English from 6th through 12th grade.
Wow. Y'all, excuse me. People are trying to call me when they know I'm on air. I don't
Hey,
know what that means.
they need your coaching. That's all.
But I'm gonna have to say no. I'm gonna have to hit y'all later. Um, and then but that's cool. So, what made you switch from teaching to the administration side?
Literally, it was the principal that I was working with at the time. I had come into a new school and a new environment, and I said, "Oh, we don't have a this. I'm gonna do it." And so, like, I held a career day single-handedly, brought in 23 of my friends, people of color, people in professional spaces, came to the school. We had a successful event, and the principal said, "Oh, like, when do you want to become?"
I'm a professor at Chicago State University.
Yes.
Come on through here. So, how did you get into this profession?
I was failing a probability and statistics exam at Boston University, and I realized that wasn't what God had for me. I got out of that and got into film. And I was talking to Earl earlier. I believe I was just teaching the other day about owning our own media,
Mhm.
and I'm blessed to have like two shows streaming now, and we just pitched to Hulu. We just got on Hulu, so it's all about pitching, having your own media, and that's kind of how I got into it. I always wanted to own my own media, and I teach kids how to do that at Chicago State University.
That is awesome. So you are on Hulu. Is this is Preacher's Kids, The Untold Stories,
Correct, correct.
stage play and TV show. This is all on Hulu.
Not
Right now,
yet.
it's on Tubi, Amazon Prime,
It's on
and
Tubi.
yeah, it's on Tubi.
Okay, we're gonna talk later because okay, we're
Yes,
gonna tell everybody how to get to that in
it's all good. It's all good.
because I
It's all
definitely
good.
want to watch this.
It's all good.
Awesome. Okay, so we have two educated people who have made an educated decision to be married in today's world where it may not feel like it is the so. One of the things I wanted to talk about was, hey, let's get to the nitty gritty. Tell us about this surprise wedding.
Oh, so one thing that I value is the uniqueness of just who we are, and I abhor the idea of having to have a traditional wedding just for the sake of pleasing other people. We're not together to please anybody else but each other.
Right.
So we told our friends and family that we were having an engagement party. We invited them; they all came, and we had a live band. And then we had a comedian, so it was like band, comedian, band, and like halfway through, we ducked out, changed clothes. Pastor got up on stage and said, "Look, y'all, you thought you were coming for an engagement party, but it's about to be a wedding." And so Alvin's sister walked him down the aisle. My brother walked me down the aisle, and we did that.
My goodness. Okay, so as a wedding officiant, let me just tell y'all, I I can't wait for the day that I get a couple that says they would like to have a ambush wedding or a surprise wedding. They're gonna be all over that. So that has to be super exciting. I know your guests had to be looking at you all like, are you
Oh,
serious
it went
today?
up. And the people who decided not to show up were even more
Because
upset.
they missed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind
All
of
right.
funny too, because I had a friend. She was just about to leave, and I was like,
Don't do it.
"You do not want to
I
leave."
promise you don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
do
So
it.
God is good. God is good.
Awesome. So let's get right into I broke this up into a different couple of segments. How long have you guys been married?
6 months. 6
Oh,
months.
it's real. It's real
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay,
We've been
so
together 4 years though. So I
okay.
want to add that. I think that quite often people think that just because you've been married 6 months, that does that doesn't mean you've been together. We've been together. I believe the marriage just made it official. You know what I'm saying? So I want to add that 4 years, 6 months. That's the way I look at it.
And
Yeah.
counting.
And counting.
Come
Right.
on
That's the way I
here.
look
Yeah.
at it. Yeah.
All right here. So I want to talk about one of these things when we talk about leaving the dating scene. So I feel like sometimes there's this fear around like what you think you're gonna miss. And so, when we talk about evolving and revealing, I know
Mhm.
one of you said this.
I did, yeah.
And so explain to me what that looks like and what that felt like for you.
Well, I think that by the time we decided to get married, I was over those kinds of apprehensions. But I understand that at any given moment, Alvin can change. He has that right as a human being and as an individual. So, can I adapt to that? That was the question, because in any other situation, I could just leave him. If he tripping, I'm gone. Okay. But what does that look like when I decide to stay? And what tools, what systems can we put in place to do checks to watch that evolution? Like, I see you going in this direction. How am I feeling about it? What can I say about it? Should I not say anything? Should I just see what happens next? But I think that evolution of who he is who he should be. When we on our first meeting,
And it was a meeting. It wasn't a date.
it was not a
It was a
date.
meeting. Yeah. Let's get that straight.
This was all happenstance. But he told me, oh yeah, I'm working on a deal with Amazon, and I was like, okay, whatever, sure. And then right in the middle of the pandemic, the first streaming went up. And so we were already a year and a half in by then. So it's just like, oh, okay, cool.
He's for real.
Yeah. And so that evolution, like, I can't wait to see what's next. I'm excited for him. And I support him in every way that I can with that. But in terms of like dating other people, you never know what that evolution or revelation is gonna be.
Absolutely.
And do you have to deal with it? Probably not.
Hmm.
I would agree. I think that we're at sometimes we're waiting on that other shoe to drop. Like, okay, let me see what. Okay, he's seeing real nice. All right, she seemed like she got her stuff together a little bit, and then we're like, okay, look here, you can't just be this great for real. So now we got to see if
Right.
something wrong with you. So we
Right.
waiting to like, something gonna be wrong. It's a little something wrong with everybody. Let me figure out what his something is. Let me
Yeah.
figure out what her something is. I agree with men when they say women are crazy. Yes, you're crazy.
Well,
I'm crazy.
Crazy about what though?
But how crazy? What kind of crazy? Because it's all about the levels.
And I like that. We're all crazy. We're trying to find someone who can deal with my crazy. Everybody has issues. I say this all the time. When you're younger, 20s, you come to a woman, hey, I went to Harvard. I got my BMW. I made six figures. When you get a little bit more seasoned, I got gout. I've been divorced 5 times. I'm in bankruptcy. It's about putting it all on the table. Either you can deal with it or you can't.
I love how he said, I got gout.
Hey, I got gout. You know what I'm saying?
Tell the people
All
what
that,
it is.
yeah.
I got
And I'm being
gout.
facetious when I say that. I don't have gout.
But
But you lay it out on the line because it's about time. It's not,
Exactly.
I'm not putting up a facade.
Right.
Either you can deal with my issues or you can't.
And I mean, in looking for what's wrong with the person, I remember being single and I'm almost 40. Not having had a child, men would, oh, that's a red flag. No, not
Be
necessarily.
thankful.
But that there's a stigma attached to that. So really finding your match is something that you might not be able to do online.
But there's a stigma attached to women being single over 40, whether they have children or not. Like,
Hmm.
I am 48. I have never been married and I don't have any children. So they look at me like I must be some type of a
Right.
unicorn, but not in a good way, though. But
Right.
it really is a good way, because it's like, well, look at this from the other side of this coin. I ain't been tainted
Hmm.
by a marriage that didn't fail, so I don't know what that feel like.
Hmm.
I don't have kids. I don't have no baby daddies that's gonna be on the
Right.
Debbie and pitch bothering people.
Hmm.
So, and I'm on my money. So I'm like, I'm a prime catch around here, in
There
case
it
y'all didn't
is.
know.
There it is. And
I'm a high commodity.
Teddy
Right.
Pendergrass put out a song that said, "You can't hide from yourself. Anywhere you go, there you are." So as long as you can look yourself in the mirror, somebody's gonna look at you and be like, "That's the one."
Absolutely.
We don't know when, we don't know where, but you keep looking yourself in the mirror, saying, "You know what? I'm good with who I am."
That is the most important thing. So I know that you talked at one point about abandonment, and so your father not being available.
Yeah. So, in relationship to like, do I want to pursue this? Of course, it was never a question of it, because I was of the mindset of breaking generational curses. My mother was in a loveless marriage most of my life. My grandmother never married. Why don't I deserve that for myself? I don't have to let that be the reason that I don't pursue love and commitment in the form of marriage. It just made sense. And so I had to deal with a lot of trial and error. Now my record is expunged. Okay.
And she
Come
says that
on.
all the time.
Come
My
on.
record is expunged, but I've kissed some frogs. I had to experience it for
I like that.
myself without the guidance of that man in my life. But what I did to circumvent that a little bit is I used to hang out in the barbershop when I was like 18 and just listen to men talk. And I learned a lot. And so that afforded me the opportunity in dating to be selective, to hear and listen and understand what creates an argument, what creates confrontation in a relationship, what does a man really value from his woman that's going to keep him around or not.
Or not. And those are key things, because I feel like sometimes we allow barriers to stop us from experiencing things. I was talking to some of my other people, and I was telling them that my great grandmother and my great auntie was afraid of her own shadow. They were afraid of everything. Oh, don't open up the windows; they might see you. You can't pull back the blinds, and you can't. It was a whole bunch of you can't do, right. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all people? It's not that serious,
Right.
or is it? But but I learned from them inadvertently, because they weren't trying to teach me this message. But what I got was, I need to be taking chances.
Yeah.
I need to be out there living my life. I need to try things that normally people would shun. I need to not be afraid. I need to be fearless in my pursuit
Right.
of life and those things that I want to fill it up with.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't what she told me, but that's what I figured out.
Right.
Because I'm like, I can't be like you, scared to look out the
Exactly.
window.
Yeah. And we, if you really look at anything you've grown in, you grow the most when you're uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
You got to be uncomfortable. So if it means going 3 steps further, I never been there, but if that's where I got to go to make it happen, you do what you got to do. So again, uncomfortability, you got to be vulnerable. I mean, again, I'm saying I love you. You say you love me. Your actions gonna tell me whether you real or not. You know what I'm saying?
Find that out
Yeah,
real
we're
quick.
gonna find that out. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about it all the time. It's either a bad, it's either a good chemistry or a bad science project. One of the two.
I like it. It's either good chemistry
Or
a bad science.
And you got to look at it and say, hey, this ain't working, and be able to keep it moving.
Awesome. So I know the other thing that you guys talk about is knowing your level of love or capacity, what you're capable of. And I think people don't always know what that is. And in some ways, I get why you wouldn't know if you've never allowed yourself to go there. But at the same time, I think there needs to be a certain level that we are both sure about. Because I found this out in one of these relationships I was in. I'm like, I don't think you have the capacity to love me the way I think I need to be.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work out for me. But it's like, but I love you this way, and that ought to be good enough. Sorry, I thank you so much for the love that way, but that's not what I want, and I'm gonna have to say no to that. So how do you get past that point where you're like, okay, well, maybe I should just gonna take this love that he given?
No, first of all, our relationship is rooted in faith. We are God loving, Black Jesus believers. That's our core value as individuals, and that's what we bring to this relationship. It's at the forefront. So what's the other part of that? I don't even know, because in terms of what your question is, because that we dispel all of that, because that's our core value.
Well, that's the core, but let's look at it like this. We were talking about this the other day. Me and my partners joke about this all the time. We got a partner. He wants 100 things right with the woman. And we're like, bro, what are you bringing to the table? Because nobody's going to come with 100 things. But you know what? If she got 85 and the other 15 are not as bad, hey, we got to give and take in this thing. So you got to know what you can put up with and what you can't put up with in answering your question. Nobody's going to be perfect. There are days when she might look at me and be like, there are days when I look at her, but
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, the core is there, and we rock and roll from there.
Awesome.
For me, I have 3 things that I was looking for when I was dating.
School us, because we trying to get husbands around here. School us.
Well, and it might be different for other
every
people.
person. That's right.
It
That's
might
right.
be different, but
Yes.
comparable lifestyle, my belief in him, and he has to speak my love language.
My belief in him, that is key.
That
I got to believe in you, sir.
and
If
that
I
comes
don't-
from past observation of success. Like, oh, you done did a little something. We not resting on potential. Not that, oh, he has the ability to do these things, but he ain't did it yet.
Mhm.
Like back to when we first had that meeting, he's like, oh yeah, this is going up. Oh, okay. But when I
See?
saw it,
Right.
that solidified the belief, right? That confirmed it. And so when I think about I'm getting all 3 of these things from this man, I'm willing to forego the other subtle things, the idiosyncrasies that might, put a snap in my day.
Yeah,
Because those other 3 components,
are key.
there were a lot of guys that had 2. Even more that had 1.
Trust me, we be around here trying to build a bear. I'm telling you.
Not gonna do
She
it.
said,
We be building and building a man, honey, because
Right.
because okay. So way back when in my former life,
Your record is expunged.
Right.
my record has been
Exactly.
expunged. But way back when in my former life, I used to have like this rolling 5 because I'm like, because one of you ain't got now one of these things all in
Right.
one. So
Right.
let me just peace. You
Right.
got this, you got that, you got the whole man.
Mhm.
I rotate y'all when I need,
Right.
Yeah.
whichever one that is.
What at a person's core, they are who they are. But trust me, when you meet the right person, you can go to the left or to the right, and you'd be like, man, I didn't even know I could do that.
We still in sync. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it just takes the right person at the right time.
Absolutely. I believe this was you, Alvin. You said this companionship aid survival. Which one of you said that?
Oh, in
'Cause I love this piece.
relationship to, because the question was why get married now?
Yes.
Like, speaking to your aunt's point of like being scared, I don't know what her marital status was. I'm assuming she's an older woman. There was a point in our existence as women, especially in this country, where we needed a man for survival.
Speak
You could not navigate the public space without one.
without him. Yes.
Now that's been quasi lifted in most instances, because there are still some
Hallelujah.
struggles. Otherwise, we wouldn't
Mhm.
be self-proclaimed feminists and womanists.
Mhm.
But outside of that, now I get to choose a husband for the joy that he brings, for the companionship. And so I was able to be selective. I didn't marry somebody at 20 because I needed a place to stay.
Yes. Come on.
I didn't get married at 30 because I needed a place to, a person to take care of me. I get to be with Alvin because I want to be.
That is so key, because I told one of my ex-boyfriends, I said, I don't know that you see the value in the fact that it's one thing for me to need you because I want you versus want you because I need you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's
I
make that
want
perfectly
you.
clear. Yeah,
And
yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
want you,
Yeah.
I create a need for you.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Let's be clear and
I like
understand
that.
what that means.
I like
Mhm.
that.
And I don't think he understood that. I'm like, I don't have to have.
Right.
All
That's
this
right.
is my own. I don't
Right.
need. I
That's
got it.
That's
Right.
right.
But and I think men have this. Sometimes men can have this view, like, well, if you don't need me to take care of you, if you don't need me to do this, then what do you need me for? There's 20 million other things
That's
Yeah.
right.
that makes up me,
That's right.
Mhm.
that needs this nurturing moment that you give.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if it's not money, find whatever the other
That's
thing
right.
Right.
is.
That's right.
But you don't know that because you don't get to know me to know what it is.
That's
Right.
That's right.
And that's how companionship aids survival. Because if y'all ain't really,
Right.
and you need to know who I am, I need to know who you are, and it needs to matter to you to know who I am. And
Absolutely.
this is one of the points I've always made. Y'all need to care about knowing who each other is. If that's not important to you to know who the other person is, I don't understand why you together.
That's right. That's right. Because in the counseling session, it was stated, if you go into the relationship, if you go into marriage, if I go into marriage trying to make myself happy, and she go into marriage trying to make herself happy, we're gonna be unhappy.
It's
But
supposed to be the other way around.
But if I
Yeah.
go in trying to make her happy and she goes in trying to make me happy, we're
Everybody
gonna be
stays
good.
happy.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
This
That's
is what
right.
I said. I kept saying this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm like, y'all don't get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be thinking about me, but we think that's, everybody talks about the whole win-win. So, I'm supposed to be getting what I need out of this. You're supposed to be getting what you need. You absolutely right. But
Mhm.
the concern is switched.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
It's not my concern to make
Right.
sure I get everything I
That's
need.
right.
It's his.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
That's
When-
his job. And if he can't do it, then we know we got the wrong one.
That's right.
Exactly. When I was dating, I said that eventually I want to be able to work for my husband. For whatever skill set it is that I possess that makes me viable in the professional space, I wanted to make sure that I could give that to my companion. I believe a woman is a helpmate, and that's my role. I couldn't do that dating somebody. Give it to you and you go where with it. And what do I get from
And
that?
what do I get out of that? Because anything that now let's be clear. I know that we like to act like we shouldn't, like, oh, you should, you should give everything right out the gate. Why would I do that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not going to start out cooking meals and washing clothes, and I'm not coming over to your apartment, go clean up for you. That's what you need to get a maid for.
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
not my job as of yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to understand that. That's not
Mhm.
me rationing it out to you just necessarily. That's me making you understand that there's a standard. You get this when we are here. You get this when we are there.
Right.
So you have some aspire to.
Right.
Well, I can't say this enough. Every day in class, every other day in class, I say what you put into the universe comes back to you. So if you continue to put out what you want, it's got to come
Gotta
back.
come back.
Mhm.
Intellectual radio didn't come just because Earl was thinking about it. He kept putting it into the universe, and at some point he kept working towards it, and it came to him. Coach T, this show didn't come just because you were sitting there thinking about it. You kept putting it to so you cannot negate what you put into it, and you cannot get tired of putting it into the universe.
Right.
That's the key. You
Yeah.
cannot get tired of putting it out there.
Mhm.
You can't get tired of putting in the work. So that brings me right to this dating with purpose. So aligning with a specific kind of man or woman, and you talked a lot about
Mhm.
selection, because I think that selection is what is necessary that people don't really put in. I think people just get into these relationships. Oh, he cute. He smelled good. I think he got a good job. He got a nice car, so he must got a good job. That don't mean that though.
Right.
I know a lot of people got nice cars because they
Mhm.
know friends at the dealership.
Mhm.
Okay?
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah, you can drive this car this week, and they change cars every week. It's all about one, okay?
That's right.
I didn't see this happen.
That's right.
So I think that it's important for us to, as women and men, to know that I can be selective, and
That's
it is
right.
important to have some type of strategy around that.
That's
Yes.
right.
Because I don't think we do. I think we
Right.
need to be like, oh, he's cute.
And that was my strategy, those three things. And so what I made sure that I dated a lot, and I must have come to the conclusion about those three things maybe 2 years before I met Alvin, or I'm sorry, got reacquainted with him. And I immediately keyed into, nope, all three aren't here. I'm out. Like, I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to vacillate. I'm not going to, waste your time or mine. I'm going to continue to put out the energy for the thing that I'm looking for. And that's why when Alvin showed up that day, I wasn't even looking.
That's usually when they come when no one is looking.
Right.
Right.
I think I was dating somebody else even. It wasn't a thought in my mind.
Yeah,
However,
outside of my mom and sister, I didn't know any other women until Rashida came along. So that's
I
what
know, I
I'm
love
right
it. I love this game right there. Go
right,
ahead,
all the
Alvin.
now. Yeah,
time.
girl, you must be tired.
Really,
You've been running through my mind all day
yes,
long, girl.
You must be sad,
exactly.
girl. So I know you talked about the opportunity to grow in selflessness. That
Yes,
is key.
yes.
So how did that? What did that? I mean, how did you get to that evolution? Because that's a whole nother level that people don't say
Mm-hmm.
so early on, anyway.
Oh no. So one thing that I really adore about Alvin is that he speaks to me in all the love languages.
Come on.
Not always the best way, but he definitely makes that effort. And so when I see that, I want to match that. And when I have compassion for him and when he's late for whatever it is that we're doing or didn't follow up as fast as I wanted him to about something, I give him grace because I understand all those components about his heart for me. I know that he did not do that maliciously. And so I have to look at the rest of the world that way too. Like everybody's not out here to get me when they are late for my meetings at work or whatever the case that they've got going on with students that I need to now address. So I can see other people a lot better because I know what this man's love is for me. And it just makes it a lot easier to understand what the rest of the world could be going through. He's my thought partner when I am stressed out about whatever. I know that I have a safe place with him.
He's my thought partner. Did y'all hear that? Okay.
Absolutely. And so I gotta understand that everybody either they're coming from a place that's good or they can't because they don't have that.
So one of the other things that brings me right into because it ties into finding these opportunities to grow, there is an age gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell everybody what this age gap is.
I turned 57 this year. She turns 40.
Okay.
17 years.
So there's a 17-year age gap. And so what I like is that you don't feel stifled being younger. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I watch some of these dynamics and it's like, well, you didn't give her the opportunity to grow. And I'm like, well, I don't know how you figure out. Like, you understand where she is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, okay, well, you need to be here because I'm here. No,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be where I am. You need to be where you are.
It's all about quality time. Again, when you go into something, if I got something going on and you got something going on, you know what I'm saying? When we get together, man, it's a beautiful thing. But I respect that you respect that I got things going on and I respect that you got things going on. That's key, you know? And I think, again, when it's rooted in faith, you look at everything from a positive standpoint. You're not looking for the negative. If it's not rooted in faith, we're conditioned to look at everything negatively.
Y'all ain't even together right now.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Man?
So you cannot. A minister told me this ring is a circle. Nothing can come in, nothing come out. So that means you cannot let anyone else in that circle besides you two.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you let other people in, everybody got an opinion.
Absolutely. I like the fact that, yeah, I love the way that she has the room and space to grow, even in this relationship where you're in one place and the other way. Although she booming already. So
Yeah.
She might be like years ahead of you. You just don't know.
And if she shines, I shine.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
Yes.
You cannot look at your partner and be jealous because, you know, I've been in that situation and I knew it just wasn't going to work out because I'm trying to go somewhere. You think I'm huge now. Wait till you see me 5 years from now. And if you can't deal with me, if you can't deal with where I am now, 5 years from now, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
right.
This is what I love the fact that you bring that up because this is one of the things that I always say because where I know what my trajectory looks like, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to really, really pay attention because I can't have someone in my space that's not going to allow me room to do that. Like, you're not gonna come in here and clip my wings to make you feel better. Like, that's not what's gonna happen around here.
Right.
You get kicked to the curb.
Quickly.
I'm not gonna soar because you here.
Yeah.
Shake the weight. It's time for you to go, man.
No, like one thing that's great about us are the ways that we're able to complement each other. Alvin is a big picture person. I am detail oriented. I am, type A. I got a schedule. I got a plan. Alvin's like, chill, sit down.
Yeah.
So even to the point, I'm working on my doctorate on Sundays from 1 to 5, I go study.
Okay.
That doesn't get interrupted. If I decide to study at home, Alvin will even go out so he doesn't interrupt me. But Sunday morning, we together, uninterrupted. I'm not allowed. Can I say out the bed? We got to stay in the bed.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But 12:50, I could go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, there is nothing wrong with being on schedule. Okay?
But I say that to say that he helps me level out all that structure, time management, this time ticking. It's about where I'm at, what I'm doing, what's next. He helps me slow down.
Absolutely.
And there again is where it didn't start out that way. So I need you to know that you got to be willing to grow with that person. I didn't drink as much water as I did when I first met her. So there are things that she's rubbed off. I didn't.
No.
I didn't. There's things that she's done to help me grow as a person, and there's things that I've done to help her grow as a person. It's a trade-off.
Absolutely. I think that it's so funny because I listened to Chris Rock, one of his things. He said, if it wasn't for my wife, I would never eat right. She got me down half a crap that I didn't know I needed to eat. I think that everybody, I think that we all bring our own gifts to the table. There's certain things that I probably wouldn't do normally because that's not who I am. But that doesn't mean I can't be influenced and say, you know what, that do kind of look like that work. Let me see that.
That's right.
Try it out.
That's right.
And it's as long as I've always said that as long as I get the opportunity to choose to do it, then we're all good.
That's right.
We can't have these mandates.
Right. You're not forcing it down my throat.
Absolutely. I was watching somebody on divorce court and he was telling her all the things she couldn't have, so she couldn't eat food and she couldn't eat chicken because they on a diet. But this is ongoing. Like she can't have fried chicken, and if he catch her with a plate, he knock it out her hand. Who are you talking to?
You ain't my daddy.
But when you're committed, there's a certain goal in mind and a commitment level that establishes like I'm willing to sacrifice. Like we fast together every now and then, like by choice. Like I'm going through this thing. I need you to fast with me. That's a choice of commitment. You can't expect that when you're dating.
This is what I said. You sound like somebody else because it was brought to some of these things come up and it's like, well, if they fasting and you not, y'all just that you mad?
And you got to know going in some things that this person is not going to do as well as some things this person is going to do. She talked about a friend. She loved to go to church or have a spiritual side. The guy she was dating didn't go to church when they was dating. So
why are you still dating him if he don't go though? But okay, never mind. That's another story.
Things can change, but you got to know going in, you know what, they wasn't doing it. Because I was dating a young lady. She didn't go to church. But when she saw I went to church, she had a Bible under her arm. And then once we took it to another level, that left. So that really wasn't her. That was the only other lady that I saw outside of her. Just need you to know that.
I love it. No, I think that, you can adapt if that's what you want to do.
That's right.
I always tell people, you can't change someone. Change has to originate in the person.
That's right.
And then you support it.
That's right.
Yeah. But you can't say, I need you to change, so change right now.
That's right.
You got 15 minutes to do it.
That's right.
Wait for that to happen.
That's right.
You have to learn to be, that's why it's important in selection, to make sure that you're getting a person that is compatible with you. That way you guys have this opportunity to build and create what that is. A lot of times I feel like we just, we do what everybody else tells us to do. If one more person,
that's right,
say they to me. Every time people say, well, they said, the first question I ask them is who
is they?
That's
right.
And when you can't tell me who they are,
then we're not talking anymore.
Talking about what they say. Because that's not, because I've figured out that they are the people that we have grown up with in our ear.
Absolutely.
But we don't know who they are though. Because they was when we was getting taught.
Right.
It was, they say. It was always they. It was never, my grandmother told me one day. No, it was they said. Right. So they never knew who they was either.
Right.
So we never have a face to that. So I'm just listening to all this hodgepodge of traditions that are not bounded or that are not rooted in anything I believe today.
Hashtag surprise wedding.
Hashtag surprise wedding.
With Italian fiesta, a taco truck, and Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I got to take some notes from y'all page. I got to take a few pages. I'm telling y'all.
But that don't work for everybody.
Right.
Again, I'm sitting at a
That's
table.
genuinely
Yeah, what we want to do.
what
2
we
weeks
do.
ago,
Right.
you know, this like she's getting married. Oh man, these prices out here just so ridiculous. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, hey, here's an alternative. I can't do that. Well, why can't you?
Because of they.
Because of
Because
that.
they.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
who
yeah.
is they?
Who
I'm
is
like,
Right.
stop it.
That's
Okay,
right.
really, really quickly, I want to just mention today's sponsor. It is Vashanti A. Taylor, aka Sugarfoot, and she is doing a comedy show on. I believe it is on April to the 23rd, and it's going to be at Hope Center. You guys can get tickets at I am. Let me get this right here. You can get tickets at www.vashantitaylor.com. That's VASHANTITAYLOR.com. I'm having a problem, But yes, Vashanti Taylor, www.vashantitaylor.com. There are still tickets. Vashanti is an inspirational comedian. She's an author, and she's also a motivational leader as well. And let me tell you, they are fun tea. She has a awesome lineup with the other two other people. So this is going to be an awesome night. Make sure you go to her website and get your tickets today. It's going to be awesome. All right. I want to get back into identifying the one. And we talk about, I call this the full commitment time. It's like, okay, we ready. We're here, right? So being in sync. I know you guys talked a little bit, you hinted about being in sync, but how did you get this well-oiled machine that's like we're in sync?
Let's get this straight. It didn't start out well oiled because again, Rashida is a very detail-oriented person. Schedule. I'm like, hey, I get it done, but not in a timely manner sometimes. And we often talked about, hey, sometimes it was a round hole, a round peg trying to put in a square hole. But over time, we realized it's not about winning the battle, it's about winning the war. So we're going to have some times when we're going to agree. We're going to have some times we're going to disagree. But overall, this person fits where I'm trying to go.
I'm not even sure if it's entirely just that. Alvin and I met in about 2005. We interacted at work. I used to work at the press department for Reverend Jackson. He was doing film production at WYCC. We had a very cordial, professional. Hey, how you doing? Okay, da 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 da.
So Reverend Jackson, Jesse Jackson, as in Push.
Yes.
All right now.
Yes, I was his press secretary for 3 years. Really interesting time.
Oh, former press secretary. Come on, in the room.
Right. And so we got reacquainted in 2018. Through that time, we discovered we were neighbors. We lived 5 houses away from each other, literally around the corner, never saw each other. I got my master's degree at Chicago State. He had been there how many years?
I've been there 12 years at that time. Yeah.
And hadn't crossed paths on campus again.
Wow. That just goes to show you how God be lining stuff all the way up.
It was the absolute matter of timing, because in my 20s, I wouldn't have been checking for this grown man. Even in the middle of graduate school, I wouldn't have been checking for him. But the day that we got reacquainted, I called you because you had asked me for some PR advice, going back to that.
That's correct.
And so when I told him where I was like, oh, I'm just having dinner alone, because I could do that as a single woman, have dinner alone.
Sure.
And he said, oh, where you at? Oh, I'll be right there. Pops up. We have a splendid conversation. He orders some French fries. Right. It was a meet. I was like, what do I owe this meeting? Because I wasn't expecting it. Paid for my dinner and disappeared. Asked me what?
Yeah, she thought that I rode away on a skateboard.
Yeah, I promise you, because he opened my car door and I turned around and said goodbye again. He was gone. I was like, what? Did I just see somebody? What happened? And so timing is super important. And then the points that we are in our lives, like I don't go into a conversation with Alvin looking to win an argument. If we have a conflict, I want to bring it to him in love. I want to express to him what it is that I'm feeling. I want to really be clear about what it is that I'm asking for once I tell him. And Alvin's really good at asking me, do you want me to respond or do you just want me to listen?
That is key. Yeah. That right there is key.
Because sometimes that's what creates another argument. That ain't what I was talking about. You just don't.
But
so he's very clear.
Men are hunters and gatherers. So I mean, if you really into a woman, you don't want to see her ailing. So you're gonna do all you can to put on your Superman cape. But on that note,
yes,
one of the most revolutionary things, and I gotta give Pastor Will credit for this, in our marriage counseling, he said that when you're in a relationship, you do not have a debate, argument, miscommunication to win. You do it to come to some conclusion that you all agree at. Think about that. If I win today, then you're going to win tomorrow. We trying to one up each other.
That's competition.
That totally changed my thought. Yeah,
that's competition. And that's so good that you guys say that, because I think it's important for people to learn how to argue.
That's right.
I've been trying to say this for the longest. I was like, ain't nothing wrong with a good argument.
That's right. That's
okay?
Right.
A good argument to fix everything real
that's
good.
Right.
If
you got to get it out of you.
It,
that's right. That's right.
Finish the argument.
That's right.
We abort the process because we be like, okay, I can't deal with it. I need to walk away.
That's right.
Look, sit on down here and get to finish this argument. Claire and look, y'all don't understand this, but way back when on the Cosby Show, Claire and Heathcliff Huxtable taught us how to have an argument.
That's
like
right.
this. They sit down with their piece of paper.
That's right.
And they talk the whole thing out, and they could be, and Claire be mad as I don't know what.
That's right.
And they having this whole conversation. By the time they get through, guess what she's doing? He is laying on her chest,
That's
and
right.
she's feeding him apples.
That's right.
Boom. They can fix this whole situation.
But I mean, in the age of technology, like, we have to be careful about where those conversations take place. So even in a text exchange, Alvin will stop and say, this is something we need to talk about later.
Because there's no context in text.
None
at all.
And you don't know what I don't think you know what the thought process. You don't even know what the emotion is.
That's really. Right.
You're like, okay, I don't know if she's mad or sad.
Or you're interpreting it, which is even more dangerous.
Which is even more dangerous, because I understand that men and women process differently. We've been talking about this. So I've been reading Power and Purpose of a Woman by Dr. Miles Monroe, and I promise y'all, I've been trying to say this book has changed my life. And so my thought process about what relationships are supposed to look like, I'm a tough cookie today. You're going to have a hard time because I'm armed and I'm dangerous. I know too much now. Right? You know that? I was like, Lord, you didn't do nothing to make this harder. You know that, right? Because you didn't just let me find some things out.
More selective. That will bring more joy and creates more sustainability of a relationship.
And that's does that elevate the level of communication that you guys have?
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Muhammad Ali said it best. If you're doing the same thing at 40 as you did at 20, you wasted 20 years. So at 40, you should know a little bit better how you can process things, how you want to be processed. Again, that comes with maturity.
How you want to be processed.
How you want to be processed.
That is key right there. How you want to be processed, because I don't think we know. I know, but people don't always know.
Right.
And they're expecting for you to figure them out.
Right.
That's right.
And I'm like, why everything got to be somebody trying to figure you out? How come you just can't say what it is?
That's right.
You know, this is one of the arguments, age-old arguments, debates that I have with my auntie all the time. And me and her, we talk about this all the time. I'm like, you want this man to be reading your mind, and people don't read minds.
That's right.
Okay, he ain't telepathic.
That's right.
I asked her, I said, do you have to get to prophecy? She's like, no. I was like, well, he ain't going to be able to read your mind.
Right.
So get that out your head right now.
Right.
He should know. He should know why you mad.
No, not at all.
Well, he should know what he did. He don't know that that's an issue, though.
Right, because if he knew, he wouldn't have done it, because he loves you.
That's right.
That's what I'm like. Why do you decide that he already knows it? So you're not going. So you think not talking to him for a whole month of Sundays is going to get him to figure out why you mad? Well, let me just tell you, in today's world, I'm not going to take that much time trying to figure out why you mad. I'm going to probably stop talking to you.
When you're dating, it's called ghosting. That's just when you move on.
Would you say it again? Say it again for the people in the back, all right? Because I don't have time to be filtering and playing around with you.
Right.
I think that's too much energy.
Yeah.
To keep putting into one person, because it's supposed to be this two-way
Absolutely.
street.
The way I see it, like, you were born into your family. You did not pick your coworkers, your clients in most cases. This is the one person I get to choose to be around.
Oh my God.
Why would I waste time being upset with him and combative with him?
And competing with him. I'm like, that's not fun.
I have to positively frame my approach with other people in this world. What?
Look, you need one person in the world that you don't have to go through all of those
Yeah.
That's
changes
right.
with.
That's
You know,
right.
because it's like it's taxing. I tell people all the time. I understand that I don't do anything laborious at work. You know, I'm not doing broad back and work, but I work in HR, and by the time I get through in the day, I am exhausted.
That's
My
right.
brain
Yes.
is
That's right.
tired, and I am physically
Yes.
tired. And for the person to tell me, well, you know, it ain't like you had a real job, you didn't do nothing all day.
Right.
That's
Excuse
right.
you?
Mental
No.
energy can be just as
Just
taxing
as
as physical
taxing.
It
energy.
makes you. I'm
Yes.
like, I can be the same. I said, you understand I could be the same type of tired though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not possible for me to be tired. I should have all the type of energy in the world because I'd have been sitting at home. No, because then
Mhm.
people work a nerve. So I
Right.
think that the respect level that you guys talk about is really, really awesome. Having the right person at the right time, which you guys talked about. The other piece of this, because Elvin said something that blew me. He said the pandemic realization.
Oh yeah.
So I tell everybody, I said, I think when the pandemic first started, I did a talk and I said, let me tell you something what's gonna happen. Either a lot of people are about to find out how much they love and care and value each other,
That's right.
or they're about to find out how much they don't like
That's
each other
right.
for real and ain't really
That's right.
compatible.
Right.
So either y'all gonna be getting either some renewals gonna be happening, some people gonna decide they should probably get married, or it's gonna be a lot of people be talking about something. I can't wait till this is over
That's
so
right.
you can get out.
Because
do
at
it.
that time, and we were talking about this the other day, the only place you go was to the grocery store because everything else was closed.
Right.
Everybody was working at the
grocery store
crib.
was out
They
of
go like,
Yep.
we going to the grocery store today? Yeah, we going to Mariano's today. Oh, okay. That's
It
all that
like,
was.
yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
Mariano's today.
So again, if you was with somebody, it was like you say, it was either gonna be a good science project or bad chemistry. One of the two. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna make a break because I was just like, because I was watching people, because I mean, I live alone, so I ain't handle this shit. But you know, but I was watching some people that live alone. They were going out their mouths. I can't do this. Why is it that big of a deal?
That's
Nigga,
right.
you don't like yourself enough.
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
I had a good old jolly time
That's
Right.
in the pandemic by myself.
And
That's
at home.
see, for me, prior to that, I mean, I've spent the majority of my life as a single woman. And so when the pandemic first started, Alvin had a conversation with me. He said, look, if we're going to have to lock down, I'm going to come be with you. And are you okay with that? And mentally, I was not prepared for having somebody in my space all the day long.
all the day long.
Not even him, but just like, oh,
Period.
I wake up and you right there too.
Right.
I come out the bathroom and you still there.
Right.
Oh, snap. Okay. So it was because it was him. It was like, oh, okay. You know, this.
Yes to this.
But that took, again, that selflessness, that took some growth. And so I feel like a better person for it.
Hadn't
And
done it.
again, yeah. And the pandemic, I mean, we used to drive up to Baha'i Temple. We used to walk around.
Yeah.
You know, we made it palatable.
Yeah, we
I
did more
exposed
walking
him
at
to
that
the
time.
exposed him to the Office. He had never watched the Office.
Oh, look at that. She got him on all types of
Yeah.
That's always great. All right, we are getting to the point where we're gonna get ready to wrap up. I want everybody to have a chance to talk through a few more things. So I'm gonna give you this really, really quickly. First, Alvin, tell everybody where they can find this TV show on Hulu. I mean, I'm sorry, on
Where they can find
Tubi.
it.
Yeah. The exact name of the show is Preacher's Kids, The Untold Stories. I need people to know that it's not The Preacher's Kid. It's Preacher's Kids, The Untold Stories. You can find it on Tubi. I got 7 episodes. We just started season 2. It's on Roku. Old episodes on Amazon Prime. And again, we're
But
streaming.
tell them what they can expect.
Yes.
It's a funny, inspirational look at the church from the view of the preacher's
Docu-comedy.
kids. Again, I don't have Denzel, but I got Deacon Pray Too Long. The deacon that prays so long on Sunday, you think he ain't talked to God all week. I don't have Halle Berry, but I got Sister Tell It All. She tell all your business, but you ain't heard it from her. And anybody who's been to a black church, I got Sister Off Keys. She sings in a key only Jesus understands. So again, it's some funny mixed with some inspiration.
Right. The
You have a good
format
time.
is that he has been interviewing actual preachers' kids and extracting their most interesting stories and turning them into comical skits. So it's a very innovative idea that you're not going to see
Oh, that's
anywhere
gonna be,
else.
That's gonna be awesome. So Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you go to Tubi. Next time you ain't got nothing to do and you just watching TV, go to Tubi
It's free.
and look
Yeah.
because Tubi is free.
It's
It's
free.
watch Tubi.
That's
So
right.
make sure that you look for Preacher's Kid,
The
The
Untold
Untold
Story.
Stories.
Thank
All
you.
right. So really, really quickly, what would you say to someone who is on the fence about whether marriage is worth committing to today? Go.
Where are you at in life? Where are you at in life? I mean, time. I say this all the time. You can get more land, you can get more babies, you might even be able to get more education. You don't get no more time. So if time is ticking, at some point you got to look at life and be like, you know what? Where am I trying to go with this? And I really believe that a mate will help you in doing what you need to do. Like you say, I should be happy before they get here. They're just adding to my happiness.
Absolutely.
Perfect. What you got?
Well, one thing, and I tease about this, like being single is cool until you need the garbage taken out.
Come on.
Like having that companion, that there's some stability and comfort offered by a relationship. But I think that a person who questions marriage just might be questioning love, and if that's the shape that they want it to be in. And I think that, we talk about being heartbroken. Love is like disease in the sense that you just have to be vulnerable to receive it.
Capital V. That's right.
Capital V. Yes.
Capital V. If you're not willing to be uncomfortable, no, you don't want to be married. You got to be uncomfortable sometimes
A little bit
in order to
with
make
something.
it work. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This has been Empowering Moments with Coach T. I am your host, Toria Renee, aka Coach T. And remember to tune in next 4:30, Saturday, 4:30 for the next installment of the Black Love Situation. And we are answering the question, marriage, what is it good for? I am the Coach T, and just be you.